Right now, authorities say it could take weeks until they determine the motive behind the Christmas Day bombing in Nashville. The bomber has now been identified as 63-year-old Anthony Warner. He died in the blast. Investigators say DNA from the scene matched DNA from a glove and a hat found inside a vehicle he owned. Nashville police posted this video of the explosion. Officers say they heard a warning from a speaker in the RV. It said, "Evacuate now, there was a bomb." The blast injured at least 3 people, damaged dozens of buildings, and knocked out wireless service in and around the city. In a moment, we'll talk to former FBI profiler Clint Van Zandt. But first, let's go to NBC's Morgan Chesky in Nashville now. Morgan, tell us what you've learned about Warner.
Yeah, quite a bit, Contessa. Investigators sharing some of the details that have come out in just the past 24 hours since they named him as the man they believe responsible for the Nashville bombing. And important to note, the only individual tied to it at this time. And we are just a mere blocks away from where that bomb went off early Christmas morning inside that RV that police say Warner drove overnight, parked, and then was likely inside when the bomb went off. Now, I had a chance to speak with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation earlier today about what led them to him as their prime suspect, and they said it came down to 2 key pieces of evidence. Tissue recovered at this scene that they were then able to match with DNA found in a hat and gloves inside a car that Anthony Quin Warner had given to a woman for free some months ago. That, combined with the fact that tips were called in identifying the RV from the scene to an RV seen parked in Warner's backyard. All of this led them to their man, but what remains to be seen is the motive. And here's what investigators had to say about that today.
It does appear that the intent was more destruction than death. But again, that's all still speculation at this point as we continue in our investigation.
And the damage is beyond extensive here. More than 40 buildings damaged. One of them collapsed. They haven't even had a chance to go see which of these buildings will be condemned or not because it's still too dangerous to get back there. And investigators are going to be on hands and knees working towards that bombing crater that was created from the explosion to hopefully find out more about what this explosion, what this bomb was actually made of. Contessa, we'll send it back to you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNB.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it. It's not something to laugh about. It's not something to joke about. I'm making this video just to inform you and show you guys because I didn't know about this until last minute. I found out about this video on TikTok. And it showed like these buildings blown up on my TikTok. I was just scrolling through and I was like, nah, that ain't real. I thought it was just, fake or whatever. And turns out it was very real. And not only it was very real, it's very scary because of the things that we're living through already today, which is this coronavirus and these lockdowns and the new world that we're coming into today is just like scary. So that being said, to think that there might be a RV, with a bomb in it parking outside of an establishment or where people live and blowing up in like downtown Nashville, Tennessee, like that's crazy. That's like really mind blowing and really scary to think of. Like it just makes you like, where is there a safe place? What's the safe zone for us? When we can't even be outside or in our own home without thinking that there's an RV parked outside with a bomb on it. So that's why I'm doing these videos, just to inform the people and show them. So apparently the suspect has been identified, and his name is Anthony Quin Warner. Anthony Quin Warner, and he's the guy who blew up this RV supposedly and did all this stuff. So I don't know. They don't have a motive. They don't know, what's going on. They don't understand the whole reasoning behind it, because it was kind of weird. And then what's crazy and scary is that you hear the cops laughing about it, and the cops are saying oh man, that's pretty creepy, man, that's from a movie, because the thing was just going off saying that it was gonna explode and all this, and it's pretty scary. I mean, if you really think about it, it's not a game. I mean, look at this big RV. Just think of what kind of an explosion this thing could have, held inside. Literally, this thing could have been a freaking driving atomic bomb going off. Just boom. That thing could have took out a lot of the city, killed a lot of people. It would have been really devastating and really bad. Thank God for the first responders showing up and getting people out of there as fast as possible. That's the way it should be done. Just scream and yell and get everybody out as fast as possible. And people shouldn't be coming out their house oh, what's going on? No, run. When you hear somebody saying run, run. Because you don't know, they might be trying to save your life, and it's your last hope. So that being said, this is a crazy time we're living in. Crazy world we're living in, and we gotta be aware. We gotta be awoke. We gotta think that there's very evil people out there. There's a lot of bad things going on, and we gotta just be ready. I'm gonna play another news clip for you guys real quick so you guys can hear it. And this is all the information I'm getting from you guys. I'm getting from YouTube. So this is what's going on.
Is out next week. Frank, good morning. Thank you for being here on a busy news day. Let's start with these really perplexing set of facts. You have that RV that blared out a warning that some type of an explosion was coming. It happened on Christmas Day, so not a whole lot of people around. But what does this tell you about the motive? We also know that RV was parked near the AT&T building.
Yeah, look, as much as we're talking about what we don't know this morning, there's an awful lot that we do know, and that crime scene and that choice of timing and the building that may have been parked in front of tell us volumes, perhaps, about who this person is or what his or her intentions might be. So the choice of 6:30 a.m. Christmas morning is a deliberate choice. It tells us that we know the roads won't be crowded with pedestrians or car traffic. So the intention seems not to be aimed at killing people, but rather perhaps sending a message to the office or office buildings in that area. Secondly, we see a desire to draw the police in through this call for suspicious gunfire, which, by the way, might be part of the recording. The sounds that we're hearing from witnesses that they heard of gunshots might even be a recorded message, just like the warning to evacuate. But nevertheless, it brings police in. So there's a decision here being made to not hurt people right away. Now, here's what we don't know, Kristen. We don't know if that means that this is over, that his target has been achieved, and that he's satisfied with what's happened, or whether this is a warning. I can play with the police. I can bring you here. I can choose at my time and place to hurt or not hurt, and that would mean there's more coming.
And Frank, it was announced pretty quickly that the FBI would be leading this investigation. Is that an indication that this was an act of terrorism?
we should not draw any conclusions from this other than the fact that after the 9/11 attacks, it is now presumed that something of this size and scope and this magnitude of damage will be terrorism unless it can be disproven. That's a reverse of the attitude that took place before 9/11. So don't read anything particularly into this that there's an international or domestic group tied to this, but rather that we're likely to see federal charges. And I would assume that the U.S. Attorney's Office there would be thinking seriously of a weapons of mass destruction charge because of the magnitude of damage done.
And Fred, we know that investigators are examining tissue that was found at the scene. Where does the investigation go from here? And you mentioned that the suspect hasn't been caught yet.
Yeah, this is what the FBI does best because it's going to surge its laboratory and evidence crime scene technicians from all over the country into this. And that tissue will be found to be either human or not. And they'll draw as much as they can from it, including possible DNA that could possibly be a match in a DNA laboratory. So that's an incredible lead. It might even be the subject's tissue, which means he committed suicide or was destroyed in the bombing. But there's a massive amount of work to be done here because of the AT&T presence. I would start with a team going through all complaint calls, all of the letters and chronic complainers to that particular office and location of that company, because that could tie us to a motive. But again, motive isn't really going to drive this investigation. It's the hard physical evidence, security cameras, CCTV, eyewitnesses, etc., that's going to solve this case.
Yeah, the hard work will be getting underway today. All right, Frank Figliuzzi, thank you so much for the great information. Appreciate it.
So there's no motive. We don't know what's going on. And those are the facts. Just thought I'd keep you guys informed. Let you guys know. Let's see what the Director of Tennessee Bureau of Investigation speaks out about.
Joining us now, David Roush, the Director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, which played an integral part in this investigation. Director Roush, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Craig.
One of the chief contributions, it would seem, is the collection of that DNA evidence and tying it to him so quickly. As I understand it, you guys were able to do that in about 9 hours. How were you able to do it so fast?
Well, the great news is we had a known individual where we were able to get the tissue from the scene, the crime scene itself, and then we were able to gather some comparative tissue, comparative DNA from his former vehicle, a vehicle that he owned, and we were able to go to that vehicle, recover some items from that vehicle, and collect standards from a hat and some gloves that were recovered from that vehicle.
You know, the question that so many folks have this morning, Director Roush, is why? Why would a guy that was, it would seem, unknown to law enforcement, save a minor drug offense back in the late 70s when he was much younger, why would he do something like this? I know that investigators are a long way from attributing motive, but based on your time, your long time as a police chief, and next year, as I understand it, you're going to be head of the International Chiefs of Police, how will they go about determining motive?
Well, so there's a lot of effort that goes into that. So investigators from federal, state, and local authorities here in Nashville are working diligently, combing through the leads and the information we have coming in, and we've got information coming in literally as we speak that will come through. We'll talk to a lot of people. There's a lot of interviews taking place right now, and through all of that, we hope to get an answer. Sometimes it's just not possible, but we feel like we'll at least have a little better understanding of who this suspect was and what potential motive he had. We don't know for sure that we'll ever get there to the complete answer because obviously that individual is no longer with us. So the best way to find motive is to talk to the individual. We will not be able to do that in this case. And so a lot of it will be what we can gather through interviews and ultimately what the evidence will point us toward. But we may never find out the exact reasoning behind the activity that took place.
No social media presence so far discovered. No known political ideology, according to neighbors and friends. One of the things that I found most striking is that this was something that was pulled off before dawn on Christmas Day. If he really wanted to wreak the kind of havoc that would have cost dozens, if not hundreds of lives, he would have picked a busier time. Is it possible that he wanted to just destroy property, that this was a message sent and property destruction was the ultimate goal?
It appears that way when you look at all the facts at this point. Obviously the audio from the vehicle warning people that an explosion was imminent. The opportunity to clear the area certainly gives you that insight that the top possibility was that he had no intention of harming anyone but himself. But that obviously plays into our investigation, and so it does appear that the intent was more destruction than death. But again, that's all still speculation at this point as we continue in our investigation with all of our workers.
Well, I just want to tell you guys, this reminds me of the Vegas shooting, the Las Vegas shooting. Once again, they have a suspect that they don't know nothing about, and he doesn't have a criminal record, and he's never been caught up. He doesn't have any social media. He left his ex-wife the keys to the Bentley, and then he went to the fucking go kill himself after he found he had cancer. So this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about, people. These are unpredictable things that are going on. People are just committing suicide and just wanting to end their life, or they feel like, oh, they have nothing left to live for. They're going to die anyways. They want to go out in a bang, or just people just, like I said, doing that guy who had all those guns and did that shooting in Las Vegas. That was crazy. The most craziest thing in history, for a guy to just bring all those guns up to a room and start blasting out of a window like it's this game right here that I'm playing, Grand Theft Auto, like everything is just cool. That was insane. But for a guy to load up an RV with a bomb and then go downtown and then blow it up, that's up there with that Vegas bombing, if you ask me. That's right there with it, because damn, like, I don't know.
Officers report 505 on Great Ocean Highway.
That was just a bomb, and shooting people are pretty much the same thing, if you ask me. But that's just, I don't even know what to say. Like, and we're supposed to be out here unarmed, no protection for ourselves and no protection for, just being out. We're supposed to just not have any weapons or anything like that. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. I think that's crazy that we can't protect ourselves out here. I mean,
Units report
I mean, who would have thought? And then, like, who's doing something like that, warning people? I don't even know. We got a guy, like I said, from the Vegas shooting, and he has no record. He's an older white dude, and you know, I don't even know what to say. Honestly, it's just sad. But I'm happy that they're doing their investigation and they're finding out who these people are, and they're making it work.
Hot 505, this animal's headed for the freeway.
Copy that, 10-4.
But yeah, like, share, subscribe it for more videos, and check me out on the YouTube. I don't usually do videos like this, but this is a crazy topic, crazy time, right before New Year's, right around Christmas. It's just wild. But you already know it's your boy AB. Holla at me.